Folks, Brampton and Mississauga, right now, two different worlds. I'll get into that, and then the latest home prices and insights for the Peel and Durham region for week ending April 3rd, 2024. Thank you to the many of you that have subscribed to this channel. Those of you that are here every week and you enjoy the content, consider subscribing. So we're fortunate enough as realtors, we have an active real estate business, and in that we work with sellers in Brampton and sellers in Mississauga. And we work with buyers in Brampton and buyers in Mississauga. And sometimes we work with a client that is transacting in one, maybe selling in one region and buying in the other. I could tell you firsthand experience. And on top of that, when I show you the numbers after this, they're going to show the same thing that I'm talking about right now. Two totally different worlds, specifically when it comes to prices and activity. Mississauga, prices are increasing almost every week. There's showings on properties, the activity is there as far as the enthusiasm to new listings, properties being sold on offer night, few listings are out there and buyers are competing. That's the general feel in Mississauga. And remember, prices in Mississauga for the same property, they're higher in Mississauga than what they are in Brampton. So you figure Brampton would be maybe more active just because it is a lower price point. But it's not the case. Brampton is the exact opposite. Prices are trending down. There's a listing that looks great. It should sell. It's priced what you feel is priced right. And it's quiet, and you don't see the buyers coming in, and properties are sitting on the market longer. It's two different worlds. And it can be very confusing to the buyer, for example, that will say, yeah, we can buy in this part of Mississauga or maybe this part of Brampton, because they're experiencing two different worlds. It's especially confusing for the seller who, say, for example, is selling in Brampton or buying in Mississauga, or the reverse, because it's really, truly two different worlds. Again, we're fortunate that we could be on the ground in both areas and see it firsthand. But I got to tell you, you've got to be prepared. There are two different worlds, and there's always been a bit of a difference. They've never been exactly the same through history that I can remember or that I've experienced. But right now, at this moment in time, the difference between the two experiences, Brampton and Mississauga, when it comes to real estate, specifically detached properties, two different worlds altogether, two different strategies. They are very different conversations I'm having with sellers in one area versus sellers in the other, and buyers in one versus buyers in the other area. So be careful if you're transacting in one of these areas, and if you're going to be dealing with both areas, you really, really need to know what's going on. If you feel this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, really simple. Up here, there's a link to my calendar. Down below in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. Folks, at the end of this video, check out this executive townhouse. It's over 2,300 square feet and it backs onto a forest. Have a look. So let's get into the numbers. We're talking about Mississauga, prices going up, it looks like. Durham and Brampton, prices kind of trending downwards. These are for detached properties only. We're going to start off with Mississauga. I've got the data here broken down by week. I've got a year on this chart. And for week ending April 3rd, 38 detached properties were sold in Mississauga. 8 of those were at $2 million or more. Couple of abnormal things going on. Sales dropping. Right now, I'm chalking it up to Easter. And we've seen in most parts of the GTA for this specific week ending April 3rd, sales did go down previous week to this week. It's Easter long weekend. That's what I'm putting it on. This is a bit abnormal. 8 properties selling at $2 million or more. We don't see that. There's once there, once here. Last year's a different story, but it's been a while since we've had 8. We had a 7 and 8 here, but usually 2 or 3 or 4. So average sold price is up. Yeah, it's up this week, and for sure the 8 properties at $2 million or more helped with average price going up, but average price has been trending up for a while. Right now it's sitting at almost 1.6, 1,594,000. 1,594 is 11% higher than where we were this time a year ago. You're thinking, hey, 8 properties at $2 million, that's really jacked up the average price. For sure it has. And normally we are 3%, 4%, 5% higher than where we were a year ago. This week, we're 11%. And over the next week or so, I'm sure it'll balance itself out. Median price is 5% higher than where we were this time a year ago. And the median at 5% is really pretty similar to where we've been. So the dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average. Both median and average price have been trending upwards. 38 were sold, 32%, almost a third, sold at list price or more. 108 were listed. Active listings is increasing. So active listings going up. Sales did come down, forces months of inventory higher. Normally, when months of inventory go up, prices tend to come down. That's not the case here. Prices are trending upwards in Mississauga according to the numbers that we're seeing here. Here's Brampton. Brampton is the opposite of what's going on in Mississauga right now. Although sales, similar. Sales did come down over the previous week. 46 detached properties were sold. No properties sold at $2 million or more. Average sold price, the lowest was for Mississauga this week, 1,594 was the highest we've seen this year. Well, for Brampton, 1,135, that's this week's average sold price, is the lowest we've seen this year. Average prices have been coming down. I took this 1 week out where prices shot up, but overall prices are trending down. Whether you look at it recently or you come back to the beginning of the year a bit more and kind of get rid of the 1 or 2 weeks in there, prices are trending down. Compared to last year, 1,135, 9% lower than where we were a year ago. The median price is 4% lower year over year. 46 were sold, 39% sold at list price or more. 69 were listed, and those listings came way down over the previous week, yet active listings still increasing by quite a bit, and months of inventory is up to 2.8 months of inventory. That's Mississauga detached, Brampton detached. Now we're going to look at Durham detached properties. For Durham, I'm using Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby as my Durham sample. 54 detached properties were sold. In most areas, sales did come down from the previous week. Not so much in this area. So 54 were sold. No properties sold at $2 million or more. Average sold price was trending up overall. The last couple of weeks looks like it's coming down now. It's sitting at $1,172,000. I would say that 1,172 is probably around the average that we've seen this year so far. If we average this year's the first quarter prices, 1,172 is 4% lower than we were this time a year ago. The median price is 3% lower. Dotted line looks like prices are going up. However, we know the last few weeks prices were coming down. 54 were sold, 69%, really high. 69% sold at list price or more. It's extremely competitive in the Durham region. 86 were listed. Active listings, sure, it's trending up, but by margins that you'll never really notice or feel the effect of in the field. We went from 220 to 233, and each of these weeks you look at it, it's just marginal that it's going up every single week. Months of inventory still sitting at 1 month of inventory. That's a seller's market no matter how you look at it, and that's what helps to explain why 69%, 70% of the properties are selling at list price or more. Here's a quick summary of months of inventory. I would say in many parts of Mississauga, we may be in a balanced market, but keep in mind, these sales figures or these months of inventory here are taken into account the extra low or the drop in sales that we've had for this 1 week ending April 3rd. And in the middle of that was Easter long weekend. I'm not advocating for higher sales or lower sales. I'm trying to tell you what we should expect. These are not really where the months of inventory are. And over the next week or so, you're going to see a change when we resume our regular market again. Thanks for watching. Now check out this truly, truly awesome townhouse. Folks, not every townhouse is created the same. This upscale townhouse has a huge lot. It backs onto a forest, has 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, a big office, and is over 2,300 square feet. Have a look.